Is how to make and program a button in Animate. What you're going to do is you're going to start a brand new file. Let's go ahead and keep it to 1920 by 1080, and you're going to tell it to create it. Now, our whole thing is I want in this animation, first of all, I want some text on the stage. And I want you to give a piece of advice to a second year animation student. Whoa. Misspelled. Make that smaller. Bless you. Okay, we want text on there, and I'd probably have it centered. You guys know how to center that? Centered. And then we're going to put in a button. Do be sure you name your layers. All right, and I'm going to go ahead. We'll put the button here. To add a button, all you do is go to Insert, a new symbol, and it's going to ask you what kind of symbol you want to do. There are 3 types. Movie clip are programmable, and graphics are not programmable. We normally just do movie clips, but one option is a button. We're going to call this button Start because it's our start button. And it's going to take us into symbol edit mode. There's going to be something different here. There are 4 states of a button. Up state, that's what your button looks like when it's just chilling on the stage. Your over state is what it looks like when you hover over it. Down state is what it looks like when you click down on it. And then hit state is the area that activates the button. I'm going to make a rectangle here and select the whole thing. Go to my alignment window, make sure the align the stage is on, and I'm going to click, and it's going to put it smack dab in the middle because it needs to be in the middle of that plus sign. Let me show you that. Click, click, smack dab in the middle. And then I need to add some text to this button. What this button do? Make a new layer. Please name your layers, and we're going to call this button Play. But we don't want it in black text, do we? Change color. Let's do green. There's my play button. My over state is what it looks like when somebody mouses over. So I'm going to F6 put a keyframe here and F6 put a keyframe here. On my second, I'm going to make my button bigger, and I'm going to exaggerate it a little bit, and I'm going to change the fill color to a green. And then on my text, I'm going to change the color of my text. Is that for the text? Yes. I'm going to change it to the black, and I'm going to change my words. Play, and I might say now, exclamation point. Now, so this is up, over. Your down state is what it looks like when you click down on it. So I'm just going to copy what's in my up state and paste it in my down state. A keyboard shortcut of that is also holding down your Alt key. That's an instant copy paste. And then what do we want the third words to say? Play, now. I'll put the words and go. And go. And then I'm going to make the button smaller. I could even change the shape. It's really up to whatever you want to do. The hit state we will never see. So the good rule of thumb is whatever your up state is, make that your hit state. So that's a copy and paste. It doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, I'm going to change this color just so that you can see that we will never see it. Our button has been created. Up, over, down, and hit. If you go back to your scene, there's my text, lock that layer, add another one. I'm going to put B on here for button. Go to my library, drag it to the stage. There's my button. In order to preview my button, I'm going to do a command return that puts me in a swift mode. Here's my up state, here's my over state, and there's my down state. I have just made a button. And that's just 4 keyframes. If I wanted to add a sound in that, I could add a sound in one of those states. Because you know how sometimes if you mouse over a button and go click, 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 that was where you just add a new layer and then put a keyframe. This kid right here in this animation, in her buttons, does she have a sound? She does have a sound in her button. I'll play this here after we're done. And here's her upstate, overstate, downstate. She put her button, that's in the hit state. Technically, that needs to be in the overstate or downstate. Anywho, there's lots of different ways you can do buttons. So now let's take a look at, now that we have the button, let's insert a scene and let's put our advice. What piece of advice would you have to someone going into second year? Anybody? Have fun? Okay. All right, we're gonna keep this on stage. I'm just gonna keep it on for 2 seconds. F5 to tell it to stay on the stage. Now, if I do a command return, I'm gonna see button, it went real fast, and then, blah, do you see it? Almost hicking up. Now we gotta put programming on the button. So I'm gonna go back to scene 1, and I need to tell my animation to stop. So to do that, I'm gonna make a new layer. This new layer, I'm gonna call it actions. We always put actions in a separate layer. And the window we're going to go to is called code snippets. Actions is actually where you type in programming language. Well, we haven't learned that. Code snippets are little shortcuts for coding. So this is how this happens. First of all, Animate's defaults to loop, 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 loop to keep going. We want to tell it to stop. To tell it to stop, we're going to go to action script. That's the programming language in Animate. And we're going to go to actions. And the one we want to do it for, oh, I'm sorry, timeline navigation. We're controlling our timeline. I'm going to double click and tell it, and what it's going to do, it's going to put a little A in the actions. That means it's got action script there. And in here is our actions frame, actions panel. And this open and close code here tells us exactly what it's doing. And this is the actual coding. It says stop at this frame. The Animate timeline will stop and pause at this frame where you insert this code. It can also be used to start, stop, the timeline of movie clip. Now let's test it. Command return. Did it stop? Hey, it stopped. And can we click our button? Yeah. Now the next thing we need to do is we need to program our button. So to program our button, I'm going to take my selection tool, click one time on the button. Oh, I locked the layer. Click one time on the button. And then in the timeline navigation, there is a click to go to next scene and play. If I double click on that, oh, I forgot a step. I gotta give a name to the button. So I'm gonna click cancel. Click once on the button here where it's in the property inspector. It asks, hey, what's your button's name? We're gonna call it start and click return. The name of my button is start. Now let's do it. Click once on the button, click on next scene and play, click, click. Here it added coding. It says, hey, this is the name of your button. When somebody clicks on it, that's the event we're listening for. Click, we want you to go to the next scene, and then the name of that scene function is blah, 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 blah. But the open and close tag here tells you what it does. So now let's test it. Command return, does it stop? It does. When I click on the button, does it play? Yeah. Now, if I were to refix this, I might put a little animation and I'd put that text on there longer. But that's how you do a button. First, you tell your animation to stop, and then you click on the button and you tell it to go to next scene and play. Does that sound manageable? It is. It's not that hard. And then I promised you a preview. So this kid right here, she was an advanced kid. And then I told him to do a button and it had to have at least 4 scenes. She had this thing about Batman. So it's Batman on a unicorn. Sound of a cat licking. And then she always had angry babies in her animation. So that one gives a farting noise. So the way her animation is designed, I'm only asking y'all for 1. Second years, y'all want more than 1 scene. But third years, because y'all are about out of here, she actually has a home scene, a dino scene, a baby scene, and a Batman scene. let's get rid of this code window. So that's how that was designed. Okie dokie. All right.